Hi, I'm Stuart Flint. I'm the director of Cloudify Inform, which is this product behind me that I'm going to walk you through. Cloudify Legal is bringing various different products to market to help action step firms. And Cloudify Inform is our business intelligence suite. Sits directly on top of Action Step and allows a lot of functionality out of the box, as well as being able to incorporate any sort of custom requirements that you have. So let me shrink myself. I'm going to come back to this navigation page because I think it tells a story of at a high level the components of Cloudify Inform. But firstly, what I want to do is actually focus on one of the reports that we get asked for a lot, and I guess a focus area for a lot of firms is who's earning the fees, how are they doing, how they're doing against KPIs and things like that. So um, right now, out of the box, when we set up um, Cloudify Inform for you, which we can do very easily on top of any action step system, you will get this look at fees billed by fee earner. And what we do is we have a team mapping functionality where we allow you to map individuals to teams. So that could be operational teams, it could be an organizational hierarchy. So you could have partners and directors, senior lawyers, paralegals, it could be your teams, or it could be geographic. So we have some firms where it's, Auckland, Christchurch, or Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, for example. So we allow you the ability to report by team, and everything on Cloudify Inform is clickable. So if I wanted to look at, say, the private client team, everything filters. So I'm being able to see what services the private client team are providing. I'm able to see the private clients' fees billed over time. I'm able to see specific individuals, and I'm able to see the clients that they're working on. I can then click additionally, so I can then say, okay, well, I only care now about. Let me have a look at what Muriel's done. I can see her fees build over time. I can see the clients that she's been working on. So everything's clickable. It is something that I really wanted to stress. And so, for example, you can see a specific client, and you can see the people who have been working on that client, the fees they've billed. Um, so that's number one. What I wanted to show. We will default to the last month, but there's no reason why you couldn't select another time point. I might select last quarter, for example, and then I can look at my quarterly approach and see the fees billed for the individuals in my firm. I can see the same thing around clients, and the chart down the bottom doesn't filter by the date, so it allows you to see that whole history. Um, so we were able to select different time periods. We're able to filter by different teams, different services, which is just a mapping of matter types. We're able to select different time horizons. We're able to select different people. One of the one of the things I want to show you is that, as well as all of the tables and charts, you can right click and export the data in a CSV, which you can open then in Excel or Google Sheets, whatever you might prefer. You can also, on a lot of charts and tables within Cloudify Inform, select data that we haven't shown by default. So, for example, here you can see how the fees billed for, let's say, George, how that compares with George's KPIs. So there is functionality where you see this button here where you can select optional metrics. That's something I wanted to show you. Another thing I want to show you is drill down capability. So right now we're selecting the conveyancing team. You can see the clients we have. Now your drill down can be one of two ways. The drill down can be, I'm just going to select everything, and I will drill down to the next layer having selected everything. So now you can see for the conveyancing team all of the matters that they've been working on in the period that we've got selected. So you can see last quarter, the conveyancing team worked on these matters and build on those matters. If we go back up a level, we can also filter before we drill down. So let's only select that client. We can then drill down on that client, and then we see the specific matters that that client has had. So you can see we're only bringing one back now. We've billed $11,000 for this client on this matter. And if you click on this link, you'll go directly into Action Step and be able to see that specific matter. If I go further, then I can still drill down. There's additional information. You can see when the invoice was created, and you'd have obviously have multiple dates if we've got multiple invoices on multiple dates, and we can go down and see the actual invoice number. And again, click on that. You go straight into Action Step, and you can see that invoice. So what we will give you out of the box is just this ability to drill down, but also get, allows you to see what the numbers are based off. You don't have to. So if we get a number of 46,000 for Wayne, for example, we can actually directly go into. I drilled down a few times every single invoice, and that makes reconciliation easy, and allows you to, go straight into Action Step on any ones that you want to look at. So what I've covered here is, I guess, the main functionality within Cloudify and Form in one um, for one subject, which is fee earners. But we don't stop there. We look at client hours. In this case, we actually default to the current month, so you can see the hours that have been billed that are being spent on the current month, and we have other subjects. So, for example, effective rate, which is looking about what is our for an hour's worked, what are we recouping in terms of fees billed. Something that we've rolled out that has provided a lot of value is being able to track and understand non-billable hours. So here with non-billable hours, you can actually see the matters that you've been worked on that have had the most non-billable hours. You can see the people involved. So if I just select myself, you can see that I've spent 1.3 hours on this matter without billing for it, and I can dive in and for example, I can go to the quick code and see that some was for age debt management, some was for progressing the matter, and I can see the when I did that work, and I can see the description. You can't see the description in the demo, but you can see the actual description that was entered in the time entry. And again, I can select other metrics here, so I can see that, I recorded 1.3 hours of which none was billable, and understand that time. So we're finding that this is something that firms who do record all time in Action Step. Some firms will only record billable time, which means we can't look at this. But for those that are entering all time in Action Step, they're actually able to understand what's non-billable, what non-billable work is being done, and really review the training internally, so that do the fee earners themselves actually understand what they can and can't bill for. So there's that. We definitely have KPI functionality. This utilizes what's available in Action Step, so you can see your KPIs that you set in Action Step coming through. We have another way of doing that. If you don't use that functionality in Action Step, it's not as granular as what you can do in Action Step, but we also have an ability to set KPIs outside of Action Step that we can feed through. You can see the performance, you can see the fees against KPI, you can split by team, you can select different dates, and we do that by billing, and we do that by hours as well. So, if you're looking at billable hours, or you're looking at actual hours, we have those metrics. Additionally, I'm not going to talk about all of the screens, but similar functionality across this. So, if we do select an employment team, for example, then we are filtering the page by that. So you have that functionality on every page that you can filter, you can select, you can drill down. We cover WIP. Probably just worth showing that quickly. If you show WIP so that you can actually understand, um, especially your 180 days plus, what clients do they come from. Um, the accounts receivable, we can see 90 days plus for that as well. We've got payments, client reporting, reporting on matters, and we've got as well for a few firms, we're looking at how you bring in the prospecting matter types where we've delivered, how you bring that in both from a matter type in action step as well as the reporting in Cloudify and Form. So if you want to manage your prospects and your sales funnel in action step, we can do that, and then you also get the added benefit of that we're reporting on it too, and that can be useful in terms of understanding the metrics involved there. If I want to understand what's coming from Google search, for example, I can see that. um, let me now back up, okay, because I've tried to show you the functionality in here. What we've been walking through is our subscription reports, and this is in a demo system. The data is very close to what you'd expect in a real law firm. There's a lot of data that goes in behind it so that you get that full experience. I don't actually want you to use the demo very much, because what I think is more helpful is that we just do a little bit of work. It's a very simple process to set up Cloudify and Form on top of your data. So what you can do is you can say, okay, we want to switch this on. We'll give you a trial of this. We'll switch. We'll provide you the link to your Cloudify and Form. You'll see all of these pages with your data. You'll have that full functionality. We can talk to you about any slight tweak that you want to make to deliver the reporting that you're seeking to have. Um, and so we can do that. We have two tiers of reporting. One, which is our completely free 5 pages that are available on the demo for you to see in terms of those 5 pages and the functionality it offers. It's really for a closed period. It's like if I want to understand what the billing was at the end of last month, if I want to understand what the hours spent at the end of last month, it's not a live look in through the month that you would get in the subscription product. So we have the subscription reports, we have the free reports, and I guess additionally we have reports explaining how we calculate the metrics. We have a report on data quality, and we have team mapping reports. And what that does is the team mapping reports, or those pages, show the mapping that we're doing from individual to team and from matter type to service, and then that will allow you to actually sort of decide to make tweaks to that team mapping or to that service mapping so that it matches how you're wanting to understand and report on your firm. I will go into the fact that we do have this data section as well. We are able to see row by row, with all the filters, what specific matters have been worked on, whether it's from a time entry perspective, whether it's from a fees billed perspective. We have that WIP data, invoice data, accounts receivable. And what I just wanted to show as well is we also have the data quality section. So this is really showing some of the issues that we have with maybe $0 invoices, which can be something that firms use, but we flag what they are. We flag sometimes where the billable hours is greater than the actual hours, which then obviously affects actual hours reporting. It's actually a good way of understanding where some of the data is a little bit inconsistent. We can actually set this up to have certain other things that you want to track in action step. And then I've just talked about team mapping, where you can see which individuals map to which team. So I can see here we've got the admin team. We've got I can come in and see what individuals make up each of these teams, and I can see if any team members aren't mapped. So that's a good way of understanding that. I'm probably out of time because I wanted to keep this to a quick overview. In summary, what I've done is I've shown you the main features in terms of the fee earners reports and some of these other reports. I've shown you the main functionality within those. I've shown that we've got a free component. I've shown you that we have an explanation component. There are other videos that go into those explanation components in a lot more detail that you can find on our YouTube site. The additional piece that I'll just show you as well is that we have this firm dashboard as well. So what we're doing is we're bringing here all of that information together. So KPI reporting, WIP, remaining outstanding, um, our current month values in terms of billable hours and utilization, last month data in terms of fees billed and performance against KPIs, billable hours, and utilization. We also have this ability to select a certain period. So you might decide this year to date. And then this section here gives you those metrics for that specific section. And we also get a historical view as well. So we're looking at it by financial year. And we're also able to break down to specific teams. So if I looked at employment, for example, I can select myself, and now I have an individual dashboard of what I've done as a fee earner, what I've done as managing matters, what I've done from time entry. So that sort of brings a lot of things together. And as I've said before, I think the easiest thing, you've seen the functionality now from this video. The easiest thing is let's switch it on for your firm. We'll give you a trial of the product. You can see everything that you're going to get. And then you can see we'll sit down with you. We'll talk to you about what you're trying to achieve in terms of reporting. And if there's a simple tweak that we can make to the reports, we'll look to do that. If it's something bigger, we can talk about that. But we think there's a lot of functionality out the box. We want to make it a no-brainer that this is switched on for your firm as an Action Step customer. So yeah, if you've got any questions, please get in contact with us, and we look forward to switching this on for your firm.